All right, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Baha Kudash. I'd like to give double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone that do well. And I'd like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect and 1/3. And Lords, with this video will be edifying and exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Baha Kudash. Edifying and exhorting to this. All right, just want to make sure the audio and video is good. And as the title reads, the red horse rages. Okay. And pretty much I want to do a lesson on the prophecies found in the scriptures. All right. Of the, the division that's growing within Babylon between Esau, Edom. All right. And his counterparts, Esau, Edom, and his cohorts. And ultimately what we're witnessing is Esau, Edom embody, all right, that 13 colony spirit, what in history that led to the Revolutionary War, where he declared his independence from his fellow Edomite nation out of the British government. Okay. And I just happened to, I was scrolling through World Star and there was a leaked video, all right, which I'll share with you. Okay. There's a leaked video of Esau, Edom pretty much training. Okay. Now they titled this like a South Park episode, which may be true. Okay. Which may be true. Meaning, when you look at Esau, he's, you can't take him seriously. He looks like a joke, but guess what? All right. There was a small, all right, remnant of Edomites that the Lord gathered together to wage war with a stand-in government, to declare their independence, to become their own government, which is prophecy. Okay, the French Indian War, the Spanish American War, and the Revolutionary War are all found in the scriptures. And those three wars were the leading cause to what you have as the United States of America today. So there is a spirit that, fell on Esau, Edom, to stand up against tyranny, okay, to stand up against his being oppressed. All right. And what led up to that is the same thing that is taking place today. So there's not really much audio that you need to hear, but, just to show you, okay, see, this is the same spirit that the 13 colonies had, or who today as the founding fathers. All right. This is what they were doing. They gathered themselves together because they were being oppressed, overtaxed, overgoverned. And this is why Esau, Edom speaks about freedom. Okay. He's always talking about freedom for him. All right. When he's talking about freedom, it's not for us. Because mind you, during these wars, Jake was still in slavery and he was still going to war with the Gadites. All right. Now let's get scriptures first. Okay. Let's get some scriptures on this. A lot of these scriptures I'm going to bring out, you brothers and few sisters are aware of them. Okay. But this needs to be addressed and continue to be addressed, because this is what prophecy. So all we're doing in the spirit is saying before what's going to happen prophetically. And what's going to happen prophetically is there will be, okay, another war between Esau, Edom within Babylon. All right. Meaning there will be a revolution, okay, where he's going to want to declare his independence from a tyrannical government like he did before when it was the Brits. But those are just Edomites as well. Okay. So now, and I've said this before, as an example, your Biden administration, all right, your standing government today is embodying that same oppressive tax-like, protect the rich, crap on the poor spirit. And now Esau, Edom is feeling the effects of that. This is why Trump was a major influence for your standing political patriotic Edomites. All right. You have to understand, which a lot of our people don't. Esau has a political spirit, okay, to declare his independence and freedom. And if you infringe on those rights, he's ready to go to war with you. But he doesn't know this is the end all be all, okay? Because he's going to have a revolutionary war, civil war, gender war, class war, and ultimately world war within his own nation. Revelation 6 and 4, and there went out another horse that was red. Remember, the first came out red all over, like and hairy garment. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Now, Esau, Edom, has taken peace and harmony from the earth because they were created to be a violent weapon. They were created to be a traveling weapon. Okay, they were created to be a nation of destruction, meaning to take peace from whatever is peaceful. Okay, like in the movie Fight Club, Edward Norton, he said, I wanted to destroy something beautiful. And that's the spirit that Esau embodies, meaning he can't just have things peaceful. He can't just have things nice and running easy. There's got to be an issue. There's got to be war. All right. And it says, and that they should kill one another. See, let's get Daniel 7, that they should kill one another. Well, this is what the vision that Daniel saw with these empires, and the main warlike empire to the end of this vision was Esau, Edom. All right, because we could start up at one, but for time's sake, I want to get the Edomite empires out of this. Okay, these beasts that were seen in this vision were referring to empires that would be ruling. All right, Daniel 7 and 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, referring to the Greek empire of Alexander the Great. Right, it says which and a leopard being fast, because Alexander the Great conquered very quickly. I believe it was 12 years. He made the earth quiet before him, and then he perished. It says like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl, and the 4 wings represent the dominion given to these empires within. And it was the Seleucus, Ptolemy, Cassander, and Lachesis. I'm probably butchering how to pronounce that, but there were 4 in particular generals, and their sons ruled with them. This is why you had the 6th Syrian war between the Ptolemies and the Antiochs, things of that nature. It says, so this is the Greeks. It says, which they weren't the original Greeks, but they defeated and became, right? The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. See, the 4 generals. It says, after this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, talking about the Roman Empire, because it was what? The Medo-Persians, or you had the Assyrians, the Medo-Persians, that took over Babylon, right? The Babylonians. So it went from the Medo-Persians to the Greeks defeating them, and then the Romans ultimately embodying and overtaking the Greek. That's why you have a Greco-Roman wars. This is all just history, okay? And it says the 4th beast, speaking about the Roman Empire, right? Dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, right? Because the Romans, they capitalized off the Iron Age and iron weaponry, okay? Iron bars, all right? Things of that nature. It devoured and break in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And remember, the Roman Empire was very oppressive. Okay, they also influenced tyrannical taxings that caused revolts, which ultimately a part of Roman's downfall was its enforcement of taxes upon the people, which led them to revolt. And this is what you have going on today. And this is what you had going on during the Revolutionary War, where the British was overtaxing these 13 colonies. Okay, it's right in here. All right, and I'll actually read it real quick. It says, let's see. It says, in the 1600s and 1700s, Europeans, Edomites, came to North America looking for religious freedom, quote unquote, economic opportunities, and political liberties. Mind you, they had slaves with them. And mind you, this was the Gad's land. But this is all prophecy. Okay, at the end of the day, remember, it's all prophecy. They created 13 colonies on the east coast of the continent. Later, when the colonists won independence, these colonies became the 13 original states. Each colony had its own government, but the British king controlled these governments. See? So actually, watch this. So now it said British and these 13 colonies, right? Well, watch. Now let's keep going. It says and it says it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. Right. The Edomite empire was diverse because they didn't rule with a spirit of a monarchy. Okay. This is why they have puppet leaders. Okay. Because they want to control their leadership so no one can rise up and overtake their agenda ultimately, because these other nations had monarchy where the king was the father. And then no matter what, we knew the next to rule was the son. And this is why in history you had regents where the next to rule, he might have not been old enough, so he was a child. So they had regents that were in place that would represent this king, even though he was too young to rule yet. See, that's a monarchy. But this was diverse from the other empires because they didn't rule like that. Like when you look at the Roman Empire and you look at the American presidency, all right, the president changes, okay, and it's not based on family line per se, okay, and it says and it had 10 horns, and I considered the horns rulerships, and behold, there came up among them a little horn. See, Britain being that horn, but among them came a little horn. And what was the little horn? The 13 colonies, which would lead to America. These 13, all right, say Satan, 13 colonies right here that came out of the Britain government, which was a head. Okay, like today, the British Empire is a head upon the beast in Revelations 13, because you got to remember there were certain, in particular, Edomite empires that established the Edomite conglomerate rulership today. Without the heads, that you couldn't have America. You needed the Greek Empire. You needed the Roman Empire. You needed the Germania Major. You needed Germania Minor. You needed the French, and you needed the Spanish. Okay, so you needed these. I believe that's all of them. You needed these empires to establish the little horn coming out of one of it. Okay, and you know it's very spiritual. During these wars, you had the battle at Little Bighorn. Okay, right here in America. So I found that to be very spiritual, because the Bible refers to Babylon as being this little horn. What's the little horn? Because they started off with 13 colonies. Just like now, you have a small remnant of Edomites that are raging. Okay, you have a small remnant of Edomites, just like back then, that are raging for their independence because of a tyrannical government. See, they're going out in the middle of nowhere and forming together, just like what you call the founding fathers did back then, where they formed their own establishment, a new republic, you see, because they're being oppressed by their tyrannical government. Just like back then, nothing new under the sun. But this time around, this is going to fulfill Isaiah 19, Egyptian against Egyptian, you see. So they're training just like back then. Now I'm going to get it, watch. But we have to read these and this is history we're reading, and we have the evidence right here. So let's keep going. And it says, it says, and I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, the 13 colonies, all right, the United Colonies at this time. They're not the United States yet. They're United Colonies under the British government and their king, okay? And it says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Now, what are these 3 other horns? The Spanish, okay, the French, and the British. Horn representing power. So these were 3 major empires that had a part to play in America. And those 3 needed to be plucked up out of America so these 13 colonies, or this little horn, could establish its independence. And this is the spirit that Esau is getting ready to go back into, to reestablish his independence. You see, this is why you have the Declaration of Independence. Now, real quick, the 3 horns, the main horn being what? The British. Okay. Now let's go back here. It says each colony had its own government, but the British king, one of the horns, the British king controlled these governments. By the 1770s, many colonists were angry because they did not have self-government. This meant that they could not govern themselves and make their own laws. They had to pay high taxes to the king. Now, real quick, look, let's put it right here. Let me show you something. taxes. I'm just gonna put it out plain. Taxes in Rome caused. Actually, let's do this. Let's put did taxes play. Excuse me. I'm excited. Taxes play a. Oh, look. See a role in civil war. See, did taxes play a role in Rome downfall? Let's just put that. Let's see what they have. Let's see. It says some attribute the fall of the great the great empire to many things, one of which has a contemporary ring to it. The Roman Empire deteriorated due to oppressive taxation. Is that not what's happening right now? Did the Biden administration not just amp up his federal government on taxes? You see, and going back, did not the taxes make the colonists angry? See, is the Biden administration not embodying what the British government was doing back then that led to a revolutionary war? So what America is doing within itself is leading to another war where Esau, the red horse raging, needs to go to war to declare his independence. That's what he wants. See, but this is all prophecy. All right. This is all prophecy playing out right before our eyes. And it says they had to pay high taxes to the king. They felt that they were paying taxes to a government where they had no representation, right? Meaning they had no say so. Okay. So that's just like right now. This is why they're saying come November, we're taking our government back. This is why you had the January 6th, because Esau, Edom in small pockets, just like back in the 13 colonies, where they're gathering themselves together and they're getting ready. Okay. This is division. All right. The red horse is raging. And ultimately, this is the Lord putting that evil eye on his brother. Now let's get this real quick. All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy, because has Esau, we didn't finish Rev. We're going to finish it because the end of it is the third war. But check this out. Now what's taking place is these curses, man. Okay. These curses are befallen Esau, because remember, one of what divided us was during the Dark Ages. You had the English, against the Scots. That was all Jake warring against themselves, and they ultimately fell. So you have Esau warring against himself. He's not going to be able to stand after these next battles and wars. Deuteronomy 30:7, and Yahweh Bashem Shai, thy God, thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So these curses that ultimately partook in our downfall are now falling on Esau. So the reason he's getting ready to storm the castle, all right, fight against one another, is because he's being cursed and plagued with the same curses that brought us down as from being a mighty nation. Deuteronomy 28:54. So that man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. So this division, okay, this Egyptian against Egyptian, all right, what's taking place now is leading towards a great hatred. Okay, that's why they said F Joe Biden. They hate their president like they hated the British government. You see, they're hating their fellow brother. Isaiah 19, the neighbor against neighbor, brother against brother, city against city. This spirit is overtaking Esau through a political level of independence. So they're being divided by politics and views and beliefs, which will ultimately lead to their downfall, because these skirmishes, these battles, these wars within themselves is going to lead to also world wars outside with fellow Edomites, just like World War I. Who was involved in World War I? Mainly Edomites, Germany, Poland, Britain, America, France. Who was involved in World War II? Germany, Russia, Poland, Italy, France, America, all Edomites. But this third war is going to end the wars of the raging horse, Esau, Edom. The red horse that is raging, he's on his last lap. All right. And it says his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, or hostile towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Now, this curse And like many others are now falling on Esau, where his eye is evil towards his brother, to the point to where he's ready for overthrow of the rulership of his counterpart brother, Esau Edom. You see? So they're getting back in that old ancient 13 colony spirit when they needed to declare their independence from the Brits. You see? And it says, it says, they were also angry because the colonists were forced to let British soldiers sleep and eat in their homes. What's happening now? You have Esau mad that middle class is being decimated by the federal government. You have private businesses being decimated by the federal government. So his livelihood is being taken from him right before his eyes. So what happened? In 1774, leaders from the colonies met in Philadelphia to discuss British laws that they believed were unfair. They believed that Great Britain did not treat the colonists as equal citizens. They thought the people needed more control over their government. In 1775, colonists fought against the British Army in Massachusetts. See, they fought. They went to war. So what's that going to lead to? Well, let's grab it. Isaiah 19. Okay, like I said, some of these precepts you brothers and sisters already know, but these are still prophecies that are building up that haven't come to pass yet. So we're still saying them before they happen. Isaiah 19:2. Look, it says, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, the Edomite against Edomite, and they shall fight every one against his brother. See, evil eye towards his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. See, city against city, then ultimately kingdom against kingdom. But right now, okay, we are witnessing the spirit of Esau warring, raging against his brother, raging against his neighbor, and raging against his city, all in the name of his independence and freedom. See, they fought the British in the city against city in Massachusetts. The leader met again and decided to organize an army, or what you would call a militia today. George Washington became the commander in chief of that army. See? So this is the same spirit. So you're going to have Edomites step up. Okay, you're going to have Edomites step up to declare their independence from this government because they already have written documentation. When you read Daniel 7, the Declaration of Independence is Daniel 7 and 8. Without the battles of these horns and ultimately the British, you would have never had the Declaration of Independence. Look, the 13 colonies, Daniel 7 and 8, were a group, see, little horn, were a group of settlements that became the original states of the United States of America. Nearly all the colonies were founded by the English, Edomites, and all were located along the east coast of North America. In 1776, the 13 colonies declared their independence from Britain. That's the horn being plucked up. But this spirit is coming back and embodying Esau, Edom, because their standing government is doing what led to the Revolutionary War back then. Okay, Britain, then the founding fathers. So when you read all this, look, without them, there will be no United States. The founding fathers, a group of predominantly wealthy plantation owners. See, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, right? So you can talk all this, oh, freedom, we declare. You had slaves the whole time while you declared all men equal, which proves it's not speaking about us when it says all, just like in the scriptures, when it says all, don't mean to talk about all of us. See, it says, fought for their independence from Britain and penned a series of influential governing documents that steer the country to this day. See, to this day. So they're going to use these documents that they framed, all right, that they wrote for their benefit and for their gain, and that's going to put the spirit on these other Edomites to wage war with one another. And real quick, let's just get this and we'll finish Rev 6. Second Ezra, check this out. What does the Bible say? Second Ezra 6. All right, so great war is coming, man. Okay, great battles, great wars. Second Ezra 6 and 24, and it says 23. And it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. See, it's going to fight. They're going to fight each other as enemies. All right. just like the 13 colonies of those Edomites fought against the standing British government and those Edomites. Same thing back then, the same thing now, but on a higher scale. All right, Isaiah 19:2, Revelation 6:4, Matthew 12, it says division. So them being divided right now, ultimately they're not going to be able to stand. And they were divided in the conception of Babylon, of America, you see? And it says, fight against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The spring of fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So what you're having here is a great judgment that's going to befall Esau, Edom, Babylon, and then those empires throughout the earth under the what? The third war. Okay. And it says, there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Ultimately, him speaking democracy. But really, under what you're witnessing is just like the British were, this modern day government in America is a quiet communist country. Whether people want to admit it or not, America is a communist country, and we're witnessing it more now than ever. That's why it says appeared as a lamb, but spake as a dragon. That's him speaking great things, but underneath, really, he's all about a communist government controlled country, which his words are smoother than butter. So he don't want to openly tell you that. This is why you got these Edom. All this is money. So they all have money. It costs money to buy these shields, matching gear. Look, what are they holding? The 13 colonies. See that? They're holding the 13 colony flags. And look, why are these upside down? Do you know what an upside down, man, this is the Holy Spirit. Do you know what an upside down flag means? Meaning a upside down flag. What does that mean? A signal of dire distress in. According to the U.S. flag code, flying the American flag shouldn't be flown upside down with the stars at the bottom, except as a signal of dire distress, an instant of extreme danger to life or property. The U.S. flag code is official a law, but there are any federal punishments or enforcements for people who, see? So they're flying not only their little horn flag, as I'd like to call it. They're not only flying to their little horn flag, okay, from their dependents, they're also flying it upside down, saying it's in distress, okay? This is what led to the Revolutionary War. This is what led to the small remnant of Edomites in Babylon gaining their independence from a tyrannical government, okay? This is all taking place, but now on a larger scale. This is Isaiah 19:2, all right? This is Isaiah 19:2 in fruition. So finish off Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. See? And there were given unto him a great sword. And that's what we're witnessing now. That's what we're witnessing now. Okay. So you can see it all right here. The same spirit that led to Esau declaring his independence, as was spoken about in the book of Daniel. Now we're seeing that same spirit come back. So the prophecy in Isaiah 19 will also be fulfilled. Friends fighting like enemies. So it's beautiful to see. Okay. It's beautiful to see history repeat itself, but on a larger scale, ultimately for prophecy. Okay. So Esau, Edom is definitely in the spirit of the 13 colonies, man. And he's getting ready. See, he's getting ready to declare his independence from the tyrannical government under the federal government and the Biden administration. Ultimately, they're independent from tyranny. But this is Isaiah 19:2. This is a division within the nations. This is going to lead to a great destruction in Babylon and throughout the world, because you also will have the Third World War. So, hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim al-Shai Bashim Rakakwadash. We are witnessing the end of Esau, Edom. We're witnessing the end of this wicked nation, this wicked branch, this abominable branch, this detestable people, these robbers, these thieves, okay, these hypocrites, these demons, these devils, these dogs. We're witnessing their end. And the Lord in the end is having them fight within themselves to bring their end. So, hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim al-Shai. I pray this was edifying. All right. I pray it was exhorting. To you brothers and few sincere sisters, I'd like to say Kol Halah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone that do well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, Shalom.